Welcome back to Fight News Now Live. It's time to play the game that John Ramdeen has the home version of, plays it with himself all the time. Our studio audience is here. They are live. They are wired. Give us those three magic words.
We are fighting!
I think one man just ran into a wall. All right, let's spin the wheel. It will land on a topic, and then we will discuss said topic. We are given no notice of what these topics are ahead of time. We are flying by the seat of our pants.
Did you say Ramdeen plays it with himself?
Oh, gosh.
Will he stay or will he go? Rory McDonald, who fights June the 18th, as he will take on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. If you're Rory McDonald, I think you're certainly going to be weighing your outside offers when this fight comes due.
Very true, but the UFC is also going to say, hey, no, we understand what's going on at the welterweight division, and we're looking to the future of the welterweight division. Johnny Hendricks in his 30s, Stephen Thompson in his 30s, Robbie Lawler in his 30s, Carlos Condit. We want the guy for the future, and I believe, based on everything we know, his fighting style, he's the new face of the TriStar team. You want Rory McDonald in the UFC.
Yes, you do. And how do you get Rory McDonald in the UFC? And how do you get more fights just like this? Because that's what we're after.
Yeah.
This is why he's special. He's a unique fighter with a unique talent, and people are very interested in him, and like you alluded to, he's the future. So how do you get him? Well, his contract says that he can fight his contract out, then he can enter, what's going on there? Then he can entertain outside offers. After he gets that outside offer, the UFC can come back and match it. That's what's going to happen. Wherever he goes and whatever somebody says they're willing to pay him, the UFC will match it because he's worth it.
And I would expect those discussions are already happening. They know that it's the last fight in his contract. With the UFC, say, hey, we know what's going on. Let's try to get this worked out.
I'm sure that there has been conversations where they would say, hey, we'd like to extend a new offer to you, to which a guy who is a free agent after a fight could say, I'll go and entertain others and then I'll get back to you. I tell you, it would be crazy to not see him back, and I think we will.
All right, let's spin the wheel for topic number 2. The 2016 Hall of Fame. The UFC will be holding their ceremony Sunday, July the 10th. And of course, they have the 4 different wings. They go with the contributors, the pioneers, modern era, and they also induct a fight. Is there anything of note, John, that comes to mind?
Well, I would expect a no-brainer 2016 because of the passing of former UFC heavyweight champion Kevin Randleman. It has to be a thing that the UFC looks at. I would expect that would be at the top of their list to make sure that the monster is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, what is the point of the Hall of Fame? Look how high that guy could jump. What is the point of the Hall of Fame? It is to look back at people who played a huge influence and should always be remembered, and that is Kevin Randleman. Not only was he an incredible fighter, incredibly awesome to watch, incredibly entertaining, but he was part of pioneering this ground striking game, implementing wrestling into offensive fighting, and he should be remembered. His fight should be in there, and he should be in there.
I think that when you look at contributors, I know there's been a big push by Sean Wheelock and John McCarthy to have Art Davie inducted. I think he's someone that to me is a no-brainer that should be inducted. I think that John McCarthy should eventually be in this Hall of Fame.
But when we talk about Art Davie, are you just talking about Art Davie? Does Rorion Gracie, is he a part of that list? Is Bob Meyerowitz, is he a part of that list as well? Because there were so many...
Of those 3, I put Art Davie at the top because I think it was really from his... It was his brain trust that essentially planted the seed for everything here.
Just for me, an observation on the Hall of Fame itself is so far this one's actually good. It's not like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the WWE Hall of Fame, which for some reason I think Snoop Dogg was inducted into for no reason. This seems to be, the UFC Hall of Fame seems to be relevant, and it seems to really so far be focusing on very important moments and people.
All right. There will be lots of discussion about whoever goes into the Hall of Fame, and that conversation will probably happen weekly on 5 Rounds with Robin Black and John Ramdeen. Tune in every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern here on Fight Network.